There's a phrase in this week's Parshas that we just had a few weeks ago and caught our attention at that time. Zos chukas haTorah. This is the, with a hey, hayediyah, and identifying, hey, this is the chok, the law that you don't understand when it comes to the laws of the Torah, that is paradigmatic in some sort of way. And at the time in Parshas Chukas, that was referring to the chok of the para aduma, and that there was something about the para aduma and the way that it was metaher, that it brought purity to those who were tameh, to those who were impure, and vice versa, those who were involved in the process of making the people pure, who were themselves pure, they became impure. It was part of the chok and different mitzvos that we don't understand, and we do those mitzvos anyway. But the Torah, again in our parsha, uses that same term to introduce a very different mitzvah. The Torah says, Zos chukas haTorah, and here in Parshas Mattos, the Torah is introducing the topic of being magil kelim, gi'ulei midyan, what we would refer to as kashering kelim. We know that there are two different parts of preparing a kli, preparing a vessel to be able to be used by a Jew. There's one process of tevilas kelim, when you have a kli, when you have a vessel which is purchased from a non-Jew and brought to a Jew, so that kli has to go into the mikvah. That has nothing to do with whether that kli is kosher or not kosher. That is simply a process of changing the kli's status to be able to be used by a Jew. But there's another process of hagalas kelim, of libun, of preparing a kli, of ge'ulei midyan, as the parsha talks about here, of taking a kli that is not kosher and pulling out or destroying that which is not kosher from within it in order to allow us to be able to use it. See, the Torah understands that there are blios, that there are parts of food taste which gets absorbed into the walls of a kli, and that taste comes back out into one's food, and one is not allowed to consume it. So what is one to do if one purchases a kli, a vessel, from a non-Jew? So Torah says that you are able to kasher the kli. There are a variety of different ways that you can kasher the kli, but there are two primary ways. And the Torah is telling us those chukas haTorah. And the question is, why is this the paradigmatic chok? Why is this such a major principle in Torah when it comes to kashering kelim? So Moshe Feinstein in the Drasha suggests that what the Torah is telling us here, the larger principle that the Torah is hinting to, is that even if we have become dirty with chait, even if we have absorbed something improper because we haven't acted in the way that we should, there's still not a reason to give up. There still is a possibility of getting it out. There's a possibility of tshuva, of making that which absorbed inside of us, making sure that it leaves us and allows us to be able to move forward. And that is highlighted by the two primary ways in which kelim, which vessels, can become kosher. We know there's a process of hagala. How does the process of hagala work? You take the kli and you put water inside it, the boiling water. The kli is, that which is inside of it becomes expunged. It leaves the kli and it becomes now batal, it becomes nullified inside the water that is there. And now the kli is considered to be kosher. But there's another process which is called libun, which is burning it. If you have something which was used with fire, then the only way to get it out is with fire itself. And there's a tremendous distinction between the two, and it really has a parallel when it comes to the world of tshuva. You see, when it comes to the pulling out that which through hagala, so we don't actually destroy that which was inside of the kli, but we pull it out, and now we've nullified it, and it's not so significant anymore. It's a lower level, and that's why we have to wait 24 hours. That the taste should not be a positive taste anymore. And the same thing is true that there are sins that we can expunge and we can get them out of us, and in that way we can be gotten rid of. But there are other times when the reason that got in was with fire, and it's so strong that the only way to do it is to be so reif b'mkomo, is to attack it at its source and to actually destroy it. And that's why we don't have to wait 24 hours before doing Liban Gomer, because we're not trying to absorb it, we're not trying to pull it out, we're trying to destroy it in its place. And what the Torah is teaching us, so chukas haTorah, is that we have to figure out what caused us to trip, what caused us to sin. If we figured out what the root problem is, then we can figure out what is the best way to expunge it, what is the way to destroy it, how do we need to address it in order to be able to become closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zos chukas haTorah, this is another primary principle of the Torah.